but like a sound that you can't hear, but
I
they
love
can
that
hear.
You've tried that.
What?
I love that you've tried that in front of Raspberry.
Do
you hear that weird guy? Yeah.
Doing all different sounds. They didn't like that one. Did you see that reaction?
When people just walk at the back of his swim, he's a lot odder than I thought. I didn't even go and say hello.
Yeah, we ended up actually foul hooking the big plated that trip.
No, you
on
didn't.
that zig about 10 minutes later. Yeah, probably £47 at the time.
No.
Black, the best I've ever seen it look. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, ridiculous.
That'd have been straight up.
Yeah. Lads, that counts, right?
That counts. I've actually got a very similar story to that when it comes to zig fishing, where I think it needed to have one.
Has.
Yeah, the fish were a lot bigger.
I echo what Neil says.
Yeah.
Same as Tom, same as Damo.
No, I have. What I'm saying is,
Thinking Tackle Podcast.
No one's going fishing.
I feel like
No, we are
I've
going
done
fishing.
Fortnite. Oh, that was
Well, maybe
me,
because we're
but
all noddies.
It feels like it's brutally delayed.
I think
Sorry,
we should, I
I
think we
can't use that
should.
word.
No, we should stop using that word.
What?
Yeah.
Noddies? Why?
Yeah, it's just it's experience levels because it's
Shut
when they've
up,
not sport very long
Yeah.
and they're getting alienated by fucking
Yeah.
people like him.
Yeah, nobody's getting alienated. If you're a noddy, you're a noddy.
But you're not a noddy. You've just got less experience than
Yeah,
somebody
that's
else.
what a noddy
Yeah,
is.
but you're a noddy and you've had loads of experience.
That is also
Fair,
true.
but There's
You-
experience levels.
Yeah.
Whatever way you look at it.
No, it's not.
Doesn't-
You've had lots of experience and you're still a noddy.
How
This
did
is
we go
great.
to
This
that
is the
last
great
match?
noddy debate.
What?
How did that last match go again?
I'll let you win.
Again?
That fucking rig you put up on your reel the other day just says nod.
Yeah. Tried to make it quick change for no reason. Changed it though.
Okay.
How long you been carp fishing? At least 20 years.
More than that, mate. Since 2020. 25 years.
Well, we've got the title for the podcast. Is Spooner
A noddy.
2020. That'd make it 5
Fucking
years.
2000.
2020?
Yeah.
Been catfishing 5 years.
You've been fishing since
Fucking 5 minutes.
2000.
2000.
2000, yeah, I think 2001, I think it was, or maybe 1989, 2000 as well. That's weird.
That is weird.
What, carp fishing or fishing?
Carp fishing, yeah.
Yeah.
When was
Properly
that?
doing it.
2000. Probably, yeah,
Same as-
25-ish years, I reckon.
Right.
Makes you feel old, that.
Do you feel old?
Especially Damo.
Waiting for it.
How long
Yeah.
have you been fishing for carp fishing for?
Been fishing for carp. I've been
96
fishing
years.
for carp since
Oh.
quite a long time, since I was 11.
during
so
the war.
That'd be 42 years.
42
I had
years.
no idea you could carp fish 42 years ago. I didn't.
I'm 43.
Yeah.
So that's-
I caught my first 20 when I was 14, so that was in 1984, I think. Or 85.
You weren't born.
81 I was born.
81.
I wasn't born. 89 I was.
Bloody
I had to do
hell.
Thomas's. I'd done. We went to Europe yesterday, didn't we, the day before, to Korda, and I had to check them all into Ryanair,
Yeah.
and because I'm the PA now, it seems.
Yeah. Thank you.
And Thomas's passport was something like he's born in like 95 or
That's
something, or
ridiculous.
97. That is
That
a
is-
piss take.
yeah,
and
that
you think,
is.
oh god,
90s.
born in the
90s.
90s. No,
Yeah.
yeah, born in the late
95,
90s. Yeah.
so I was getting close to finishing
97 actually, I
secondary
think
school.
it was.
97, so I was finished secondary school.
Yeah.
Can't stand that guy.
Hated him, always
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
Right, should we get going?
So,
Well,
Yeah, mate.
yeah, let's.
Well, welcome everybody to the Thinking Tackle Uncut podcast. And as you can see and will probably hear, the gang are back together.
Hey.
We haven't done one. I don't know how long it's been, but we haven't done one for us for a little while, it seems like.
Well,
No.
we did that thing on the stage, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Podcast.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
at
that's
the
not-
show.
Do we need to talk about that?
Okay.
Because I think that
Here we go.
Rob Hughes bringing up the monkey as a possible fish.
Oh, my
yeah.
God. I totally
So-
forgot about that.
Yeah, what actually was it? It was
So
icons
it's the
of.
top 10 most iconic things in fishing, not just in carp fishing, in
In fishing.
fishing.
And also, just
So like Bob Nudd's hat, white hat,
Absolutely.
Dan's glasses,
Yeah.
the monkey. I mean,
No,
no,
he's
he
coming
picked,
in.
he was when he coming in front of the scarecrow in Passion for Angling in Redmar.
oh yeah,
No.
Yes.
Coming in at
I'm
number
thinking-
10.
Oi, sweet
Sweet
Sean.
Sean, sweet.
I'm thinking John Wilson's red jumper. There's all sorts of
Yeah.
ones that could jump in.
and he
but, oh,
comes
no.
out with a monkey.
That
Th-
is one of the. You get angry a lot. You're quite an angry man, but that is one of the angriest I've ever seen you.
I just thought it was
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous.
It's like microphone down. That's the end. Is that it? Are we done? It's like-
Right, so we're talking about a PG Tips monkey,
Yeah.
right? If they knew what you'd done to that monkey,
Well, there is that.
Yeah.
but
they would
mate,
not be having that on there, would
But they
they?
don't. All right.
Well, maybe he's going to come out.
We don't know what Bob Nudd's done with his hat. That's
When
all
is
I'm
that
saying.
happening? Is that going in like next month?
I don't know.
magazine or
It never
something?
got officially announced.
Yeah, it might not actually
It
happen.
might not
to be
happen.
fair.
If it happens though, it's going up there.
Oh yeah,
Like some
framed.
big
without a
reward.
doubt.
It's funny that the monkey's got more iconic status than you have.
Yeah.
True.
But it's great. It's great to have everyone back together, and everyone has been doing a little bit of fishing for once. Because last time no one had really been out today.
Yeah.
So let's catch up on what everyone's been up to. So Tom, what have you done?
Well,
This won't take long.
No.
This won't take. Well, I've been.
No
so
fish pictures to bang up on screen. I take
we
it.
obviously talked about. We talked about South Africa before.
I wasn't in when you
wasn't
spoke
in,
about it, but
Spooner had a great trip. I had a great second part of the trip, but the beginning part was terrible for me. So considering how many miles we've done and how many fish could have been caught, I would say I didn't do particularly well on that trip, and I lost in a match to Spooner again. But before that and after that, I've been doing the odd night here and there. I've done a few over Raisbury, and just caught nothing. Just like didn't even feel close to catching one, to be honest. And most of the trips were a little bit sort of off the cuff, and I didn't really know I was going to go. And I was like, "Oh, sod it, I'll go for the night," and sort of did the night and the morning, and then come back.
What for? No real excuses. Like, could you get on the fish? Could you find any fish? Or was it?
I just think it's been a really tough winter. I don't think there's been that many out of Raisbury at all, almost.
So there's none getting caught around you. It's not like you.
Oh no. I think did one get caught whilst I was there at all? I don't think so. But I tried zigs the second time. You're only allowed to use short zigs there, so you're sort of pushing them around in different depths of water. But that didn't work. I fished with a small amount of bait. I fished with singles. That didn't work either. So I think literally this time of year, unless you're on a lake that's particularly fishing well, you're waiting for them multiple days of sort of double figures, mid-double figures, which is what we've got now. So
Yeah, nice.
but yeah, mate, I've just nothing. I just felt like I haven't even sort of been close to, just nothing's been happening. It's been weird. Really, really odd.
It's horrible when you get on a run like that, because it can go one way or the other. You can either not put a foot wrong, can't you? And it seems like you're catching every time you're going, or once you get on a run like that, you can't wait for that to end, can you?
Yeah, it's hard to break it sometimes.
But you've just got to keep going. I will just keep going. We're going to Waterside next week with Elliot at Typography, and that's off the back of like 3 days of very, very warm weather, like 17, 18 and 17 degrees. So
A £60 common might make up for a few blanks then.
yeah. Well, it's the same. If you're going for a bad patch, you just got to carry on going, haven't you? And then eventually it happens, because you'll go there once, and there will be a flick of a switch, and all of a sudden there'll be free jumping, and you're like, right, this is the opportunity, and you start getting them. But yeah, so it's been terrible for me. I'm being honest. Yeah.
Damo?
Yeah, I went down to Syndicate last week, first trip. I didn't catch anything. It was good to get down there actually and just have a look around and get a bit of a feel for it. Because when you don't go fishing, you just lose the momentum. You know, your gear's not ready and all the rest of it. So yeah, it was good to do that. I'm going tomorrow. Do like 36 hours or something.
Nice.
Try and get back
That
in
first
Syndicate.
trip is the most important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just to get back out and get in the swing of it. And then once you know your kit's ready, it's so much easier to do it again.
Absolutely.
This will be your first spring on here, won't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it will, yeah. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens. But we've still got, I mean, it's warm during the days, but like yesterday when we was at the airport, it was freezing, wasn't it?
Freezing.
-1 on a certain night, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you can get lulled in. I mean, now you start going now, don't you? There's no doubt about it. Whatever the nighttime temperatures are, they tend to be definitely carp awake now. But you do get lulled in a little bit, don't you, at the moment? Because you still get
I think
those.
it's spring, but it's still winter.
Yeah, it's still 2s at night.
Do you know what? One of the markers I use is if Regan catches anything in the spring, that is fucking
time to go. Yeah.
I spoke to him on the way in, and he'd lost his hearing aid, but he'd had his rod pulled in. So, you know, that's
my
the start of
God.
spring for me. Yeah.
I'd love to have
Good
Pete
old
back in
Regan.
on this at some point. We'd have to have Pete in as a guest. It's so funny.
Definitely.
What about you,
40
Speed?
minutes ain't long enough for
You've
Pete.
been?
Yeah, much the same as everybody else. I've done, after the Africa trip, I've done a couple of overnighters on Brook Lake.
Yeah.
Nothing, but that has since done a couple of bites. So it's the first 2 fish, I think, since November.
Quite
So,
shallow, isn't it?
That fished all
Ish.
through last
Yeah.
winter, didn't it?
Yeah, but it fished much better last winter. From what I'm hearing, there could be secret squirrels down there. I don't really know. I've not stayed in touch throughout, but the people I've spoken to have said November was the last bite, and it did a couple last week at one of the swims. Only a couple of small ones, but it's signs of life.
Right,
you know,
cool.
I did see one with its back out of the water when I was there for one of the trips. So, you remember that a couple of weeks ago we had the first couple of what felt like real
Yeah, we
spring
had
days.
2 random warm days.
Yeah, one of them days. It just comes straight up in the water, and there he was, right in the middle of a set of reeds. And and then I did a social at North Bank at the weekend, thinking this is going to be the start. I'm going to have a nice trip here. There's plenty of fish in here. Nothing, not a bleep. They were all at the other end. Couldn't be further away.
Yeah, you can't be good all the time, can you?
Well, this is it, Damian.
Keep producing.
Yeah, I'm so good.
What about you, Reedy?
Well, I've not been carping since we last spoke. I'm planning to go this weekend, actually. But I've been out with...
Heard that before.
Yeah, you have heard it before. But I've been out with Cole Smith. I went out for the end of the river season, barbel fishing.
Oh, nice.
He's currently in the middle of creating a few little projects, a barbel guide and a few other bits and pieces. Like, he's always up to stuff, creating different films. Asked me to play a cameo part in it, so I went along and done a couple of days with him, like days only.
Sorry, he asked or you asked him, I'm guessing?
No, he did ask me, actually. Yeah, he did ask me.
Are you lying?
No, he said he'd asked absolutely everyone and no one could do it. So could I do it? I was like, yeah. No, it was great. It was like quite a long overdue trip, actually. Like, not forget the filming side of it. We've said so many times we're going to go and do something, and it hasn't happened. He's always really busy. But yeah, we made it happen. Went out with him and his cameraman Isaac. Very, very tough conditions. It was freezing cold, but obviously we only had the 2 days left up until midnight, so we couldn't postpone it. Yeah, we had a few fish between us, a couple of nice barbel, nice double-figured one on the first day. And it's just like an ongoing project I think Cole's got going on, so no doubt he'll have a few more sessions this year for him, and some epic little video will come out like it always does from him.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, really good. Do you know what was good, actually, was actually going out with Cole and watching how he creates his YouTube content, because you always have a bit of an idea, and obviously we know how we go out and create content. But he does it quite uniquely different.
He's just constantly filming with one camera, and
yeah, he's constantly filming. But you'll see him just turn the camera on and just run off a load of VO for about 20 minutes. That you think, well, where's that going to go? But it's just all chopped up, and obviously puts all the shots in after, and it'll be for different segments of the. And he might be tying rigs up while he's doing all this, and he's just chatting away, and you're watching in awe, if I'm honest, from the side, thinking,
oh, that's cool.
It's really cool. It's really good watching him work, and yeah, really good cameraman. Isaac, he was good fun to work with, so yeah, it was enjoyable. But yeah, hopefully get out carping from this week.
Nice. What
That's
films has
good.
Carl just put out recently? I think there was one that I wanted to watch. I haven't watched yet.
What was it? His India one?
No, not the India one. I think there's one. What, did I mention it to you yesterday?
No.
Was it the Pike
No,
one?
you did mention about
mention
Cole
one
video.
yesterday.
Was it the Predator one where he ended up I think he.
Oh no, it was Chew.
That's it.
Yeah, that is it.
yeah.
It's that video. Yeah,
Right,
it's
okay.
that was a prime example, actually, because I spoke to him about how he goes about creating like some of his videos, and it was like, obviously you're going to some of them iconic places that could be the video, and he was saying, but he never goes there with that in mind to be the video. It's like, if it's not, it'll be part of a video.
Yeah.
And it's just quite clever how he shoots to be able to make that happen both ways.
Yeah.
Because obviously then it's not, you haven't got all your eggs in one basket, and if it doesn't happen, oh well, what a failed shoot, it all goes into another segment of another film. It's really good.
Yeah.
It made me think quite a bit about how potentially do things differently going forward in some areas. But yeah, it's a really good video, that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good video. It's
I'll
well
watch
worth
it.
a watch. But yeah, let's talk about a couple of films actually that we've released that have gone down very well. First of all, Damo back in front of the big screen. That seems to have gone down very well. Your boat fishing one up at Carp Arena.
That was really good. That actually, I enjoyed it.
Cheers.
Really good.
It's
There's at least
we
10
don't see
people
it.
watched it, didn't they?
No, it's been
I
very
think-
well
It's
received.
done really well.
How many views has it had now?
It's like 50,000-60,000 already.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right.
It's really
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
I think it's really good as well, because we don't see you do any films that often. So when you do, it's always good.
Yeah, well, don't hold your breath for that.
No, you said you're going to come and do some more now, aren't you? You're going to come and do Underwater with us.
Definitely
Yeah.
going to do
Yeah, of course
Underwater.
he is.
Yeah.
There's a 60,
Yeah, if you look
there's
at the
a
comments,
60 pounder on the cards.
Dan wants to pop in for a couple of days as well.
Cool.
That'd
It's going to be
good.
some shoot, that.
Yeah, it'd be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, as long as it all goes well.
Yeah.
I'm just like, they opened yesterday. So if anyone doesn't know, we're going to be filming an underwater shoot at Manor, which is the place that has the mid-60 fully scaled in that Darryl caught last year. And we start at the end of April, don't we? Sort of time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it worth just saying that we've got a load of goodies to give away to make sure people do not catch it?
Yeah.
Between now and then, nobody catch it, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
They started fishing the lake again yesterday because they close it for the winter. But obviously I don't want to take a catcher away from anyone because it's...
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I don't. I really. If it gets caught like straight away, like now, then it's not so bad because then it's like 5-6 weeks.
Yeah.
Until we start filming. But if it gets caught like the week before, it's obviously not going to be ideal.
What is the history of its spring captures? I know it's weather dependent.
I think it tends to come. I think there's a weird amount of time, almost like an exact 8-week period that it's been caught quite a lot between sort of 8 weeks. So it gets caught, and then 8 weeks later it get caught again.
Right.
So I don't, like I said, if it comes out now, by the end of our shoot, it'll nearly be the 8 weeks anyway.
Yeah.
So we've got it for like 2 or 3 weeks, I think, depending on what happens there.
Do you feel like if it doesn't get caught, because that underwater situation is so unique, where it's low pressure, obviously one rod, I presume?
Well, hopefully we'll be fishing two rods.
Areas?
Yeah, I mean, we've got 4 underwater cameras, so we put 2 sort of main rigs in, if you like, on the spots that we feel like we're going to be fishing from, and then we'll have 2 backup rigs that we put elsewhere, just to make sure that we're not missing anything in another part of the lake. If we are, then we can then move the main rigs into where the sort of backup ones are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the lake's only small. We're probably going to be fishing towards the centre of the lake. And there are a couple of swims where there's almost 2 swims next to each other where we can set up the control tent in between. So the plan is hopefully that we can fish 1 rod each on each spot, or maybe even 2 rods each on one spot, and then when Damo comes or when Dan comes, they can obviously just take one of the spots and do whatever they want with it.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can just carry on fishing the other one, or I don't know. We don't really, because it's fishing, you don't really know how it's going to turn out. But we've got a block of time, and then booked some time in for people to come down, and then we'll just see what happens.
Are you already both sort of starting to think about how you're going to approach it? Like, is it already on your mind how you're going to start?
I'm just thinking when I'm going to have my pictures taken with it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm thinking.
I like your confidence.
And I'm thinking of the next podcast when I've caught a 60-pounder and you lot haven't. That's all.
What would be so mad about that is that we'll still be able to carry on with it.
Yeah,
you
you're
know, the
at a
UK's 50. It'd be so good. I'd love that. Imagine you come in and you got all the photos and it just gets dulled down to death. Like, yeah, it's all right. It's not 50 though, is it?
Yeah. No, that would be the ultimate film if one of us manages to catch it. You know, or even if we don't catch it, but we actually see it feeding and it does us, that would be quite funny as well.
Yeah, I think it's, like I say, seeing it on camera, seeing a 65-pound fully scaled on the underwater cameras, it'll almost be good enough. Catching it is obviously the dream. But being able to see it come in feeding multiple times maybe on camera.
You know what's going to happen, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, of course I do.
He's going to come down and flop them out.
Oh, yeah. That'd be so good as well.
There she is.
The old Gil.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that'll do.
Right, ta-da, boys.
I haven't had a 65-pound fully in the album.
Yeah, so you are going to be doing that sort of film. And are you going to be doing anything else this year?
No.
Are you down for anything else?
No.
Just that?
Just that.
You got to try and do one more.
Did it make you think, Damo, that you wouldn't mind doing the odd one each year again? Because obviously you've had such a long break from doing them. It looked like you really enjoyed it. You came across like you enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, it was great. You know, the Kai and what's his name?
Lewis.
No, I was thinking the chef.
Johnny.
Johnny Gazelli. Mate, what a man he is. Like breakfast, dinner, lunch, it was awesome. So it took the pain away a little bit. But yeah, I probably would have another go at doing something. It'd have to be the right lake. Yeah, just see.
Would you ever do like a European adventure or something?
Never say no, but
No.
You spoke about it, didn't you? When you got we both got a ticket for
I was
that.
going to go and try and do something on the Black Mirror.
Yeah.
But it just never worked out.
I think that's what
Is that still about that fish?
No,
No,
it died.
I'd
COVID
love
got
to
in the
see
way.
that. I'd love to see you go and try and catch a real big one from somewhere.
Well, it'd have to be probably be a few episodes, wouldn't it, to get.
We never know with you, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say probably not.
It depends how into it you are. Like if you really want to go and catch it and you do all your homework and go there, it can happen straight away, as in the past, isn't it?
Yeah.
What fish would you like to catch now though in Europe? Is there anything?
I haven't really paid much attention, to be honest. With you. No, I mean, there's lots of big fish, but that little group of fish that I wanted to fish for, and caught a few of them. They were all mega characters.
Yeah.
Like Scar, the Sauce fish, and the Eric's. You know, they were just mega. They were huge carp, weren't they?
Yeah.
At the time?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't have that sort of drive or passion to go and do that. You know, I really enjoy my English fishing, and I really want to catch, a few better ones over here.
It's a shame we're not following you doing that, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Be nice.
We'll get the lads to come out with you next time.
Yeah, they just follow you around. I don't even know they're there.
Cool. Yeah, we could bring that up, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Going to pop down, see you for a cup of tea, and all start coming down with the cameras. Right? Great.
Spooner's got a North Lake ticket as well.
I heard about this.
Yeah.
All right, for
Big
some,
Boy
innit?
Lake.
So he's going to be down. We'll probably do some more films on there this year as well because he can
Yeah.
fish it. He did come down with a guest as a guest before, but they're not normally allowed guests, and Raf and the guys allowed him to come down one time, but now he's got a ticket. We can do some trips down there. That'd be nice.
That would
Well,
be
even
nice.
those takeovers and stuff, when you're in the right swim at the right time of year, like when I come down that
exactly.
one with you, so good. be able to show people, how to approach spring fishing, early summer fishing.
Yeah.
Like some of the hits you've had have been pretty incredible, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, May, June last year was unbelievable on there.
Yeah.
Even in the summer, back into the summer, it was great as well. Just brilliant late.
You were catching most times, weren't you?
Yeah, I think I blanked once or twice, but now I've blanked 3.
I was going to say, you're
4
half
times.
changed, didn't you?
Yeah. What a pile of shit.
Yeah. We'll talk about
Is it-
spring tactics now in a bit.
Yeah, okay.
Let's get on to that. But the other film that we've released, which I definitely wanted to mention, was Rob Burgess's Zig Masterclass, which has just come out last weekend, that Kev behind the screen over there edited, and it is an absolute...
Well done, Kev.
Well done, Kev.
Yeah, well done, Kev. Because that is, if you haven't tried zig fishing or you want to take up zig fishing or try it this spring, that is a video that you can take so much away from, and you'll literally watch that and be able to go away and be able to do anything as far as static or adjustable zigs go. So
Yeah.
I think the edit was pretty special on that, Kev. So well done, mate.
Yeah, well done,
Yeah,
Kev.
good job,
He's,
mate.
he's great at that sort of thing as well, Burgess, isn't he?
Yeah.
I remember tying a solid bag before, and I went onto YouTube and watched how he ties it.
Yeah.
And he does that sort of fishing all
Then
the time.
deleted your history.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to look. Have a mug here.
Yeah, so he's because he does it all the time. He really does know all of the intricate details, all of that.
Yeah.
So if you're spring fishing really lends itself to fishing with zigs. So
I wanted to get on.
watch
I
it
wanted to get
and
onto
do
that.
what he does.
Obviously, watch the video. Everyone that hasn't, and obviously, there's a lot of takeaways from it, and Rob will tell you. But as we're sitting here, for anyone that hasn't, what is it that makes zig such an effective method in the spring? I know you've done a fair bit, Spoons, and love a zig. So
It's a combination of two things. The carp are spending far more time in the upper layers. Mainly, I've found them in the top third throughout April.
this is obviously due
half
to
of May.
the warmer days.
Yeah, warmer days, they're coming straight up. But the other thing that makes them super effective is most people can't be bothered to use them or are not confident enough to cast them out. I was the same for a lot of years, absolutely hated them. But I think you say you hate them because it's an excuse that you've either not got the confidence or don't want to put them out. Once I persevered with it, it was on Northwick, just with one rod on an adjustable, over the top of a baited spot where I could see fish showing and wasn't catching anything. Eventually got it down to 5 foot under, had a bite, had one of the good ones, and then for the next 24 hours I had 6 bites on that rod.
Yeah.
And from then on, I was, from sort of springs after that, I was going places and not taking bait.
Yeah.
I was only taking me foam and me little pot of worms.
I've actually got a very similar story to that when it comes to zig fishing, where I think it needed to have
Of course
one.
he has.
Yeah, the fish were a lot bigger.
I echo what Neil says. Yeah. Same as Tom, same as Damo.
No, I have. What I'm saying is, very good, Tom, very good. What I'm saying is, you need to have a successful session in order to give it your absolute everything, don't
Yeah,
you?
you
And
do.
commit to it. Until you have, it does feel like you are not really fishing. If you sit there and
Yeah.
don't have any success and just have 3 bits of foam suspended in the air or boilies, and you're not catching, it's hard to then try that again next session, isn't it?
I think that's where the problem lies. 'Cause I think what people do is they'll put a couple of rods out fishing how they're confident over a bit of bait, 2 on the same spot, whatever. They'll put a zig out at, say, put a 10-foot zig out. They'll leave it for half an hour and think, it's not gone, and put it back on the bottom because that's what they've got the confidence in.
Yeah.
You do need to commit to the method and do it with all 3 different heights, change your hook bait colour,
Yeah.
different areas of the lake. You do have to persevere with it.
I think a lot of waters now as well, it's quite common to only be allowed to use one zig as well, isn't it? Which
Yeah, it's
doesn't
annoying, that.
really help.
No, it really doesn't.
Or you've got a maximum breaking strain of line.
Yeah.
You know, when that just
Use like
fucks you as well.
040
Yeah.
all the way up to it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Do you think high pressure is better for zigs?
No, I don't really know.
No, I've not. Like I say, when I've done the best with them, it's when you've got them warm days and you can visibly see them start to appear. I don't even look at the air pressure. I just,
Probably is high pressure, isn't
probably. But then it's them bright blue sky days when when everything feels that bit nicer. Birds are tweeting, you feel the warmth, and
Yeah.
so do the sun.
What about as far as what you're fishing, Spoons, on the actual, like whether it be foam or boilie? Is that weather dependent? Whether it's cloudy, sunny? Is there like a particular colour? Anything that you think people should be going with?
Black is probably what I've caught the most on. I've played around with all colours, but I tend now just to put black out, if I'm honest. That's always my starting point. If you're allowed to, where rules allow it, I'll put a couple of dendrobinas on the top as well, because I think that a little bit of movement, added attraction in the water, I'm convinced it gets me more bites when I'm allowed to do it. When you go to an embryo water and you're not allowed to, I feel like it's another one of them where I've got a bit of black foam out because I can't have 3, and I just think even if that one could have a couple of worms on,
Yeah.
I'd be convinced I'd have a chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, black's always been the most consistent.
Yeah, is it something that you do much of, Tom, or not?
I've done a lot of zig fishing over the past. I tend not to. I'd rather get them off the bottom, but I will fish zigs. Like I said last time, I fished 3 zigs. But I mean, you want to be really close to the surface. Like that we've got like a 4.5, 5 foot from the surface sort of depth is the depth in the spring. Even if you've got 20 foot of water, then when it's warm, that 4 or 5 feet from the surface is such a good depth.
Yeah.
Me and Daryl fished carplantis in the back end of last year. And normally zigs aren't great in the autumn because they're down on the bottom eating proper grub.
Yeah.
But at carplantis, because it's so deep, it's like 40 foot deep, the fish spend a lot of time just above the thermocline, which is like the area at which the warm water meets the cold water. And you catch them just above that still, even in the autumn. And we caught loads on zigs that week. And we were fishing yellow pop-ups, and then I ended up using black foam with worms, and I caught 3 or 4 on that, I think. And then by the end of the trip, it went sort of like overcast weather, and ended up catching them back on yellow pop-ups again.
Okay.
So maybe when it's like bright and you can imagine they can see quite a lot, I think maybe black foam and worms is great. And maybe when it's like proper carpy conditions, just a blatant yellow one still works, you know.
We actually did, when we fished carplantis on monster carp, we caught more on yellow pop-ups that week than I did on foam.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was more visible, maybe.
Yeah, I just think when it's that deep, and you're probably not getting the depth exactly right because of all of the stretch and everything, you're probably better off something really obvious and really buoyant out there.
It'd be interesting to see how many times they get away with it, wouldn't it?
I'd love to see that.
A lot, an awful lot.
Especially if you've got foam still unmelted on your hook. They get away with it all the time.
For anyone that doesn't know about that, I think was that on a Thinking Tackle?
That was a carplantis.
Oh, it was a carplantis years ago.
Basically, had 48 hours of really good fishing. I think I don't know how many bites I had in that first 11 or something in the first couple of days or the first day. That was with zigs about 7-8 foot from the surface in late summer, and then a carplantis you can use the boat. So it's because the adjustable zigs are aggro to cast. They're worth it if you can cast them, but they're still aggro to cast. So because you can go out in the boat, one of the lads was going out in the boat, or I was going out in the boat to drop them off the side, and then the person on the bank was setting them. And Gary Newman was doing it first of all, very experienced angler. So I'd really sharpened hooks on them. I was just, Gal, don't touch them hook points. Just make sure that they don't get ruined. He's like, yeah, no worries. And then Toby was only 13 or something at the time, like a young lad, very good angler, but I just worried that because he wasn't experienced in the boat, that he was going to nick the points. So I started putting like non-dissolvable foam over the hooks, and then the next 36 hours, 48 hours, I just caught nothing. But whilst it's happening, you sort of normally I would twig for something like that, and I don't know how I didn't.
Well, I was still getting the odd bite on the zig, so we just assumed the fish had moved over my way.
I thought they pushed off a little bit, but it turns
out they hate foam.
Yeah, and I'd caught one then in the next 40 hours. I thought, that is so odd. So I had 2 zigs out there. I popped them both up to the surface and went out in the boat myself to look at the setup. And the rigs had been out 5 hours, and both of them still had the non-dissolvable foam on.
Oh my god!
So, yeah.
Did you immediately start catching again when you sorted it out?
Yeah, immediately.
Immediately.
Yeah, God knows what I missed out on catching, but that's a mistake. That's just my mistake, you know. But yeah, be careful with them, definitely. But when you said about wonder how many times they get away with it, over St John's, lots of years ago, me and Jake done a charity fishing with 2 lads. I still keep in contact with them actually, and we were fishing Hemman Hill to the left hand side, and it's about 6 foot-ish deep there, and we could see them all cruising up and down the margin. So we put a 3.5 foot zig out. Jake cast it across, and I could just see the pop-up sitting there perfectly. Within I sat around there for probably 20 minutes, I reckon, and I saw at least 5 come up and take it, and none of them were hooked.
Wow. Out of interest, was that pre-Kamakura time? Were you using sharpened hooks?
No, it was a sharpened mixer hook. Yeah, I think Jake sharpened it by hand. It was sharp.
The Guru Boys have just done an underwater film where they've suspended the camera off the bottom in, I don't know, it's like 6 foot down or something.
Right.
And they're float fishing.
Oh wow.
So you've got maggots and whatever. They get away with it so many times.
It's because it's up in the water.
On that same, I was literally just about to say, on that same thing, I watched the little clip of that with them fishing worms under a float, and the worms just keep bouncing up about a foot and then going off camera and coming back on again. And I was sort of said to Matt, I said, "What are you doing? Just keep lifting the float up and dropping it back in." He goes, "No, that's just dead still. Literally just the movement of the fish going around them and the thermoclines in the water, they're just getting chucked all over the place.
Really?
Like quite a big bunch of worms, and they're just getting off screen, up, down.
But it looks
Wow.
makes that better though. Surely
Well,
they look more natural.
I mean, it looks, but it looks quite
Alive.
natural. But also they miss it a lot, won't they? Because
Right.
it's moving all the time. They haven't got that free hit to just come in and suck it in. They can, just as they're about to go like that, it can shoot off up, and they don't get it. So it's like I wonder how much that foam a lot of time where they're just about to get there, and the movement of them pushing forward to take it pushes it away a little bit, and then they just move off. You're never going to know, are you, until we try and capture it on underwater somehow.
I saw a film that Al put out. It was over one of them Shropshire lakes full of biggins, and it was in the winter, and they were just swimming past a zig rig, and it was just bouncing past their faces pretty much.
Yeah.
It looked like it was at the wrong height. If you'd have had it like 6 inches lower,
They might have taken
they
it.
might have taken it. Yeah, but they just sort of almost just ignored it, and it was. I'm surprised he didn't foul up more of them.
Yeah, well, that's another thing I was going to say. When they were taking it and just blowing it back out, I'd say 3 out of the 5 or 4 out of the 6, depending on how many I actually saw, went panicked, like blew it out, panicked, and went straight through the zig.
Yeah.
So that's when you foul.
So then, them
maybe.
times when you're getting them in the peck and in the tail and that's been
happening.
in their mouth. They've panicked and shot through because they're not going to turn around
No,
in
of course
mid-water.
they're not.
Do you know what I mean? But we ended up actually foul hooking the big plated that trip.
No, you
on
didn't.
that zig about 10 minutes later. Yeah, I was watching them and I went round to tell them they had the bite, and then we landed the big plated, probably £47 at the time.
No.
Black, the best I've ever seen it look. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, ridiculous.
That'd have been straight up.
Yeah. Lads, that counts, right?
That counts. No one saw that. That's soul destroyed, that, isn't it? I think everyone's had that happen to them when you've netted a
And you
decent fish.
you saw it take it, and exactly that happened. It then sped out of panic.
No. I was watching them. I'd seen them 5 or 6 fish do the zig.
Yeah.
So I went back round to tell the lads what was happening. Was talking, and then the rod went. So if I'd have stayed around there another 5-10 minutes, I
You'd
would
have
have
seen
watched
it.
exactly what happened with it. Yeah.
Wow, that's quite a unique opportunity.
But I bet you it sucked it in and it went straight through.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was in the tail or in the peck.
But
yeah.
Jake landed that, did he?
No, it was one of the lads. One of the lads we took there.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, let's stay on the subject of bait and approaches. So obviously, you said you're going out next week to Waterside. Damo's getting out as well. I don't know how much Damo will tell us. Pretty secretive. But you two are pretty good. What's going to be the opening gambit? Looking at what is the weather looking like for your trip? You would have looked, no doubt. And what are you thinking of starting with and using bait-wise and rig-wise?
Yeah, so like we said, the weather's really good. It's now Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the weather's between 17 and 18 degrees in the day. Again, we hope the big one doesn't come out because obviously it ruins the trip. But because, like we've said lots of times, it's spring. They're not going to eat much, but there will be some opportunities, we hope, especially there because it's shallow, isn't it?
Yeah.
You'd have thought they'd be waking
Even
up.
when
now.
we were there before and it was bitter, you still wouldn't have been surprised if
We got one.
If we'd have got one, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be. We'll be using. Well, I certainly will be using really small amounts of bait, and because it's close in and you can change what you're doing quite easily. I'll probably try a few different types of bait. I'll probably take some casters with me. If I don't know whether you're still allowed to use them, are you? Or is it a winter thing?
We'll have to check.
I think you are. I'll probably take some casters. I'll take some 10mm cell, and I'll take some corn, and I'll probably use each on one on each
Try and
rod.
get
Clean.
Yeah.
Just clean, yeah. Just sweet corn on one with maybe a little yellow pop or a fake bit of corn or something. Some boilies on one with a little yellow pop up, and then some casters over caster. And then if I get a bite on one, then I'll change 2 rods to that.
Is that something that you would recommend people doing that have got that option? Always in the spring, maybe try 3 different options when you first start getting out.
Yeah, I actually think we should do that more. Yeah, I think you should figure out what they want for a certain time of year, and the only way of doing that is actually splitting the bait up and trying it, because one thing can work much better than another thing, and if you're just mixing it all in a pot all of the time, you never really get that really full on reaction from it.
No.
So yeah, if there's enough fish in there and you fish enough to try different baits, then definitely try it.
Yeah.
Because you'll learn quickly that way.
Spooner?
I might go the other way. We always, doing these sort of trips, we've got 48 hours, a unique opportunity fishing for the biggest common in the country. So if Tom's going to put 3 on the deck over a little bit of bait, I might fish 3 zigs, 3 different heights up in the water, and see if he catches.
Yeah.
I'll be switching straight away.
Yeah,
and probably
and vice versa, yeah.
Yeah, I would have had you down to maybe a solid as well.
Yeah, but like going back to what we said before, it's if we get them 3 or 4 days of really warm weather, them carp are going to come up in the water. I'd feel much happy with 3 zigs. They're spending more time up there than they are down there.
Yeah.
So,
but last week, I know you didn't catch. What was the tactics last week? Was you fishing solid bags last week?
I
North
was fishing my horrible hinge for a bit.
Right.
I did go to solids. I had a zig out the whole time, working from 18 inches off the deck up to sort of 2 foot under the surface. But like we said before, when you're doing it with one rod, it just never feels like you're winning.
What were the fish caught on that work? It was a couple caught, wasn't there, throughout the...
Yeah, there was. So for anyone that knows North Bank, it's like you sort of, everyone fishes from an island, and it's like a big horseshoe lake. So I'm around this side in Peg 2. There were there was, to be fair, Damo like this capture. There was one capture next to me on the very first night, but that was drone up over a clear spot, driving a bait boat into said clear spot so we could see where it's dropping. I told him the whole time.
The Clarke method.
He said, you can't.
You want a Damo.
But the fish that were caught at the other end were just all on bait boats, a little hopper full of bait, and little yellow pop-up.
Works every time. What a great method. What about you, Dan? What can you tell us? I know you like to keep things a little bit cloak and dagger, but...
Well, to be fair, there's not a lot of different baits you can use down there. I'd like to use casters or maggots or something like that, but that's just a no-go. You got shallow water, shallow features, and probably 300 tufted ducks and coots on there. So, keeping it low. I'll probably bait with crushed boilie and maybe a bit of pellet. I've got a good bit of pellet they like in there. During the day, and then in the evening I'll bait up once it's got dark, so that the
just so the birds are not
finding it.
If you've got a tufty torch, then does it work?
Yeah, it does work. They do work, but they're relentless.
Yeah,
they are relentless, aren't they? I mean,
it's mad. You can get them to go away, can't you? And you sit down and start tying a rig, and they all just come straight back again. You've got to stand there in front of the swim constantly like that.
I always think we should come up with a product that like emits a sound.
Yeah.
That there are sounds that they don't like, I think.
Yeah, shotgun.
Yeah, they don't like they do hate a shotgun.
Do you know what I mean? Something that's like... but like a sound that you can't hear, but
I love that you've tried that.
What?
I love that you've tried that in front of Raisbury.
Do
you hear that weird guy? Yeah,
doing all different sounds. They didn't like that one. Did you see that reaction?
And people just walk at the back of his swim. He's a lot odder than I thought. I didn't even go and say hello.
Oh God! But do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
There will be something that they don't like that you'd be able to put out there on. Maybe it scares the carp away as well, though.
Yeah.
But I always think about it with float fishing, because float fishing and boilie fishing has almost been like throwing stick fishing has almost been ruined in the UK because of seagulls.
Yeah.
There's only a few lakes that don't have seagulls on, and you try and put out 30 baits with a stick now.
Yeah, I know.
You just can't.
Float fishing is not so bad.
No, but
you've just got to accept that for the first 20 minutes you are baiting the seagulls.
Yeah.
But you do get to the point where you feed them off.
Yeah, but it ruins...
It does,
and
yeah.
it's okay doing that if you're on the lake like Burners, where they
Yeah.
love them and you can put loads out and you're fishing at 80 yards and you're putting a spawn out.
Yeah, but when you're just trying to get the odd carp.
Yeah, you see a few on the surface, you used to be able to just like put some mixers out, get a few taking 10 or whatever, then put a light little float out and get one. That's gone.
Yeah, it has.
Or mostly gone. It's not totally gone.
You
But
could chase them with a drone, couldn't you?
you could, yeah, but you're not allowed drones in most places either. You want something that like a float that's got a sound coming out of it that they don't like.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll work.
I reckon you're the product guy. You should come up with
I'm
something.
not.
You come up between you and Damian.
Hey, mate.
Yeah.
Over
I'll
to
have
you.
a think about it.
That's gun on the back burner.
Yeah. Stick to the 12 bore. You're all right. Well, let's just staying on the subject of spring and obviously trying to give as much help and info as we can for people that are just starting to get going now. Obviously, we've got the longer days now. The weather's getting warmer and warmer, and now is the time to be getting out. What would you say, if I go around the room, what would you say are the things you want to make sure you've got with you when you're going fishing now from at this time of year? What baits, what rigs, what type of things would you say always have with you in your armoury?
Yellow pop-ups.
Yeah, I knew he was going to
I
say
just
that.
don't want to sound boring, but yeah, yellow pop-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine has been my Zig kit, both
Yeah.
fixed and adjustable.
Yeah, I think you've
fully topped up. I think we've sort of covered that enough, but
Yeah, it's the same sort of stuff as we were saying. Really, you want yellow pop-ups. You want to be able to. You need to go there with a mind. It's more of the mindset as well. I think the spring that there is an opportunity somewhere, and don't have the same sort of feeling of that. Like I'm going to get now. I'm going to get my rod set, bait out, and that's me for the 24 hours. It's more like if that hasn't worked within a couple of hours, just try something else for a little while. It's almost like lure fishing in the spring.
Yeah.
It's not the same mindset as the summer at all. So it's just like try lots of stuff all of the time, and you'll come back and you'll have nicked two, and the people that have been sitting there on bait haven't caught anything.
Yeah.
And then you learn quicker that way, I suppose. But yeah, to be able to do that sort of fishing, you need zigs and good bright pop-ups.
Yeah.
You've got
And
to keep your eyes open.
Yeah, Polaroid glasses as well.
Polaroids, yeah. Binoculars. Just got to keep mobile, looking for them. Once you find them, I think they'll be easy to catch.
It makes me want to go fishing, I know that. As soon as it starts getting warmer now, you just want to be getting out and going, don't you?
Yeah.
This place here is all of a sudden there's a bit of a buzz in the building, isn't there?
Yeah, there's loads of wet nets out the front.
Yeah.
But it's even
Not
more
from us.
paramount this year. The winter feels like it's been so long.
It does.
That when we felt that sun the other week, it just felt amazing.
Yeah.
Admittedly, we were in Africa. It felt even more amazing. But you recharge. You just feel better when the sun's shining.
Yeah. Where are you going to you've got fishing actually lined up, or?
Yeah, I should. I'm just going to try and
talk
fish.
about it.
Yeah, try and get up Baston at my syndicate as much as possible this spring.
Right.
I've had a ticket. This is my third year having a ticket, and I haven't really had a proper go on it in the spring. I've done sort of summer and autumn just because of first year another ticket I was somewhere else. Last year work was busy, and this year definitely a plan to try and do a bit more. It does fish really well in the spring.
Does it?
Obviously keeps it quite busy as well, unfortunately. It's a rota syndicate as well, so you normally get the same sort of pods on there most weeks. But
Do you like that or not?
I quite like it. I do. The only thing I'd say with it is obviously it's got there's a couple of good things about it. One, obviously you can get up there, do a walk round, and if you find where the fish are and go in the draw and you come out one or two or whatever, you're as good as what you could get an opportunity, aren't you? Because you're on the fish.
So a rota is there's two types of ticket on the lake, so you can do Mondays to Friday, is it?
Yeah, you can do Friday. So Friday 10 o'clock draw. So you can do from Friday 10 o'clock till I think it's Monday 8 o'clock.
Oh, right.
And then I think the people can come on at midday or something on the Monday until the Thursday or something.
Right,
I think it's like a little gap, a little bit of breathing space on the water.
And you've got the weekend one.
I've got the weekend one, yeah.
That's actually the quieter of the two rotors normally, isn't it? I think the midweek one on there now is like super busy.
Yeah, nobody really ever does the 3 nights either. They always just do the 2, like Friday and the Saturday. But yeah, I guess the one good thing about it is you can pretty much pick your swim if you come out good. The other thing is obviously you can just turn up and what's left is left sort of thing if you can't get off on the Friday. But it's one of those waters. It's quite a decent size. They move around. And unless there's a big wind going or something, you can normally always have a chance. But there's some big fish in there, and there's a real big mirror in there that I'd really love to catch, which is why I've kept hold of my ticket. Called the Friendly, and it's quite friendly, obviously.
Is that the one that Jay hasn't caught?
Yeah, Jay hasn't caught that.
He's got
all
the
the other
hard ones, yeah.
That's a nice way around of doing it, isn't
It is, yeah.
That last one he had, I think it was 52 he caught at the back end of last year. That was
the
a
common
joke. No, the mirror.
Oh,
Big
that moon
slut-
scale or
my
something, wasn't
God,
it? Yeah.
What a carp.
That was a nice carp.
They've got big in there quick, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and that we don't really know how big that Friendly mirror is going to be, but I think it was, I can't know, 55s or
It's a
something.
male, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just so massive. Like it looks 90 pound because it hasn't got a belly. It's just like really
Doesn't
long.
really
Have to ask Damo about
Yeah, I was going to say
that.
maybe not. He'd be up there, wouldn't he, if it was 90 pound? But yeah, that's going to be that. And then my attention's going to be turned to the river because obviously we got I mentioned it before, we're doing a video on there this year. So
Oh, the opening nights. Aren't you?
yeah, so we're
That'd
going
be
to have to
good.
start that quite early.
That was cool.
Preparation
Well, for
goes.
carp fishing.
Yeah.
You're going to bait it like in the build up to it.
Yeah, so I think I've got 2 or 3 areas I want to go and have a look at, and obviously that involves hitching the boat up and going up there and having a good recce, which would be really fun because obviously it's quite different than going and walking around with your leading rod.
Yeah.
Being able to boat up and down Thames stretches through locks and obviously have a little look. I've got hold of one of them. They might love this. I've got one of them cameras you can lower down as well and check areas and stuff. So that's going to be quite
We
exciting.
used one of them, didn't we?
Through the spring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could be quite a big edge, especially the bait side of it. If I can bait heavy and come back, obviously there's a lot of bream and stuff in the Thames, but if you're coming back and they're polished off properly towards the opening night of the season, you're going to be pretty excited come getting the rods
the only
out.
thing is that when you put it over and all the bait's still there, it's like you just slip into depression.
Yeah.
That's what we've done at the Dur.
Do you remember we went on my right hand spot though?
Oh yeah, there was nothing there.
We'd moved the rods around on Shanty, and we'd been, as we were about to move swims, we said we'd have one last check of the baited spots, and we were like checking them all the bait's still there, got to this one that I'd fished down the right and there was just nothing, and you're like, that's got to have been carp,
Oh, it's
because the others would have been cleaned
Yeah.
out as well. Oh, painful.
Exciting
We're going
times.
back.
We're going
Yeah.
back.
So I think before we wrap this up, what we want to have definitely on this next one when we come back is we want to actually have some carp put on the screen.
Okay, well we promise we'll have some carp.
You've got to have some carp.
Yeah.
So
Promise,
you're probably
Yeah.
going to go.
2 weeks.
Oh no, we'll be filming it next week though, will we?
We'll be filming it.
Because this is late.
Week Monday, won't we? So you can have all.
Basically, we'll have one trip. We'll have the waterside trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll
catch a carp.
Yeah.
Got to have a carp.
I still
haven't
haven't caught one out of waterside. I don't like little lakes. I don't click with them.
It doesn't sound like you like much at the moment. There's a lot happening, is there? Racesby's not a little lake, is it?
No, I love Racesby though.
Yeah.
But I'm still not clicking with that at the minute. No, I just don't think they're coming out of Racesby. I don't know. Little lakes are weird, aren't they?
Yeah.
They can be moody, can't they?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
I think
moody.
they're under more pressure because you've got that has as many people fishing it, and it's just in a much smaller space. There's just lines everywhere.
You've just got to look for them. Do you know what I mean? Like those small lakes, I think you get a lot more chances in the edge or just in places where people don't normally fish. They just
Yeah.
ignore the swims. You always go for the swims which are in the centre of the lake, commands the biggest amount of water,
Yeah.
but there are opportunities around them.
Is it only me and you fishing?
I think Anne Elliot.
Okay, that's all right though. Three
There's
people
three
on
of us.
there.
It's perfect.
Yeah, that's
on there.
perfect.
No, it is. I've always found on little lakes that you end up. I'm trying to think that the little lake, like even like Cleveley Top Lake and that.
Yeah.
They're really spotty. Like if you fish there a bit and you start to learn where they come from, it's like proper tiny little areas where you get all of your bites from. And I think when you're going just every now and then to a lake, you're not finding where them spots are, and you're just fishing the same spots as everyone else.
Yeah.
And they're swimming over the top of bait all of the time. So it's like you need to fish exactly the right bait on exactly the right spot, and you can catch loads.
Yeah.
But it's getting to that
That
position
stage.
without knowing it that well. But I'm looking forward to it. It's exciting fishing somewhere with a 60-pounder in, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
So we want fish next time we come in.
Yeah.
We're also we've got something exciting for the next episode. I think we're all going to bring tackle boxes in. We've got a new camera that we're going to rig up on the table that we're going to be able to show rigs off and that. So
Right, okay.
I think it'd be a nice thing. Get the tackle boxes in, have a little look.
What are you laughing at here?
Yeah, I knew what he was doing. So I looked at him going, oh my God.
Just going to book some ready tides out. Here we go.
I might forget mine that day.
Yeah, that'd be good. It's going to be fun to try.
It's good.
Get a little close-up
Especially
camera.
if you caught something.
Especially if you've caught something,
Yeah.
you can show us what you caught it on, and obviously maybe we look through why something's good. So,
So if there's anything anyone particularly wants to know about our rigs or our tackle boxes or just bits that we have, then let
pop
us
your
know.
questions
and then
in
we
this,
can,
and any other
talk
questions
about
you've got, keep them coming in because obviously we haven't done any of this episode, but next episode we'll do a few more of the viewers' questions as well. Yeah,
Cool.
Thanks everyone. Go and catch some carp, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Happy spring.
See you later.